Alrighty, guys, welcome back. Earlier, we were talking about Tennessee and Virginia suing the NCAA, and now we're going to dive into the Big Ten and the SEC uniting. But before we start, I just wanted to remind you that if you guys like the show and want to send us a comment, you can do that at streamelements.com/gsmcsportsnetwork./tip. This sends your comment to the top of the list where I can see it, and it also just really helps the show.
All right. Question before you dive into the next topic.
Yes.
Did you watch the Grammys? Are you a Grammy watcher?
No, I did not watch the Grammys.
I didn't either. Okay, so we're like two of the people. It's like this big deal. I know that there was something with Taylor Swift. She broke some type of record, and then I saw a clip where Jay-Z was talking about something, and I didn't know what was going on. So I was going to try to get you as thought you were going to give me the scoop on what happened at the
No.
Grammys. You look like a
No.
Grammys girl. You look
I
like
look
someone
like
that
a
would watch the
Grammys girl.
Grammys.
See, I normally don't watch. I don't think I've ever watched the Oscars. I've never watched the Grammys. Golden Globes. I haven't seen any of those.
Yeah, I've never been one of those guys. It's like some people I know, like when I lived in California, I don't remember if it's the Grammys or one of them. I knew a woman that would have full on parties
Mm-hmm.
for it, and
The
all the
Grammys.
women, yeah, all the women would dress up in evening gowns and everything. And I thought that was the cheesiest thing ever. Like, why are you dressing up to go to someone's house to watch an award show?
To each their own, you know.
All right. I just was just kind of curious on that one. So neither
No.
one of us watched it. So let's move on.
Alrighty. So the Big Ten and the SEC unite. The lawsuit that we were kind of previously talking about that is based around West Virginia's basketball players was recently joined by the U.S. Department of Justice, signaling a strong federal interest in the case. The Biden administration has had a notably aggressive approach to the antitrust enforcement. At least for the next year, the DOJ will remain very interested in actions brought against the NCAA. While the Tennessee case is in its infancy, it would not be surprising to see the DOJ once again join in a suit against the NCAA, bringing their vast resources and highly skilled federal attorneys with them. An unfavorable situation for the NCAA.
Okay, so they're saying the Department of Justice may get involved in this as well.
Yes.
Then that's
Mm-hmm.
with the Tennessee case.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then going forward, got a little
Both.
twisted around there.
I guess I did.
Yeah.
Both West Virginia and Tennessee cases have strong implications for the NCAA. If one or both challenges are successful, the NCAA will significantly cripple. I think I have the wrong notes here.
Yes, yes, you do. Okay.
That is totally my bad. So sorry.
I'm like, what in the heck is going on?
Sorry.
Okay, so the next one deals with the Big Ten and
Yes.
the SEC meeting up together to talk about regulating
Right.
some regulating the college football.
I don't know what
Do you want
happened
me
to my
to
notes. I don't know what happened to my
see
notes.
folks, you getting behind the scenes over here? Faith have been partying up watching what was that show again you
No.
watched?
Huh? What show?
What was it? The Never Ending Story or
Oh,
something
yeah.
like that? So every commercial break you had to do a shot between each one and you
No.
didn't. That's why it
No,
just never
okay.
ends.
No, I'm so sorry. That was totally my bad. I started reading it and I was like, this doesn't sound right, but okay.
But actually, before you go there, that's interesting that you added another layer to the Tennessee Virginia lawsuit,
Mm-hmm.
and that there could be a chance the Department of Justice, so not just attorney generals from different states, but even on a federal level, they're starting to pay attention to this,
Yeah.
which is important.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, all right,
So
all right.
sorry.
So like Like this last few minutes didn't even happen. We just sweep that
Nope.
under the rug, Faith. It is Monday, Faith, and
It is
that's why
Monday, yeah.
you get a Monday pass.
So sorry, guys. Okay. The SEC shook the college football world to its foundations back in 2021 when they announced that they had extended invitations to the universities of Texas and Oklahoma. Since then, each conference has been in a dead sprint to accumulate as much power as possible. If you don't keep up, you cease to exist. No two conferences have added more than the Big Ten and the SEC. Following the SEC's move to acquire Texas and Oklahoma, the Big Ten went out and snagged UCLA, USC, Washington, and Oregon, effectively eliminating the Pac-12 from existence. Now the two power brokers of sport are teaming up to address the significant challenges facing college athletics and opportunities for betterment of the student-athlete experience. Two conferences announced the formation of an advisory group of university presidents, chancellors, and athletic directors to try and find some solutions to the plethora of issues that have sprung up around college athletics over the past few years. All right.
Okay. So now I will dive in here.
So sorry.
It's Monday, girl. It's okay. First off, this is, in my opinion, the start to the end of college football as we know it. These two stories here, this lawsuit with name, image, and likeness that's going on, but the bigger story, like, that's a giant wave, and this is a super tsunami. Mm-hmm. And they're both barreling toward the NCAA. The two biggest conference with the two biggest contracts, the most history, everyone is expecting that eventually it's going to become there's going to be two Power 2 team, mm-hmm. It's going to be the SEC and the Big Ten. Everyone feels like it's just a matter of time. And the fact that these two organizations are working together, mm-hmm. or starting to work together, in my opinion, a lot of people will look at it as a bad thing because change is happening.
Yeah.
But I look at it as a good thing. If you could go through, and the main reason behind these two working together is the college football playoffs. You have college football playoffs for 2024 and 2025. That's it. That's the only thing that's agreed upon. There is no agreement from 25 on. Mm-hmm. And both of these organizations are working out what will college football look like going forward. And I suspect the first thing that's going to happen is I think these two organizations will get together and look at, are we going to stay with the NCAA or are we going to break away from the NCAA? And whatever these two schools, whatever these conferences decide, if they decide that they want to break away from the NCAA and create their own playoff, mm-hmm. it's over for the NCAA. Yeah. It's over. Mm-hmm. But the NCAA handles a lot of other like minor lawsuits and protections and things like that a lot of universities don't want to deal with. A lot of the dirty work that goes on behind the scenes in the college sports world. And so a lot of organizations kind of look at it as, hey, we don't have to deal with that.
Right.
But I could see a situation where they break off, they start their own college football program in which everything else falls under NCAA. They do a new college football organization. They need to create a commissioner in which they oversee just college football. If you do that and you have that, so then you do a 12-team or 16-team playoff and just divide this. I could see a scenario where they break all the schools up into two organizations, where part of the Big 12 conference and the ACC, with everything going on with Florida State, and behind the scenes, Florida State, Clemson, Miami, Virginia, North Carolina, they already want to break off and go to the SEC and Big Ten. If the ACC collapses, I could see all the major programs being divided between those two, having a playoff where you take 8 teams from the new giant SEC, 8 teams from the new giant Big Ten, play down for a national championship game. And that's, I feel like, the future of college football. Also, by having these two organizations work together, I think the first thing they're going to push for is a collectively bargained agreement where they're going to bring in all the schools. They're going to bring in an organization that represents the students. They're going to work on a collectively bargain agreement where some profit sharing is done. It's just a matter of time. You have to have profit sharing, which means the students, the football players are going to start getting paid. You're going to have to do some type of payment situation, whether it's $50,000 a season, which would be a joke when you're looking at schools making hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars, a couple of $1 billion between those two organizations a year. Players are going to start getting paid. They're going to start getting benefits, and then that will break away from this whole issue with name, image, and likeness. It'll do away with these conglomerates where they're just taking advantage of some of the families. Poor families are being taken advantage of in a way because they're able to go to these schools, get money. But if you had a collective bargain agreement where the schools could start getting paid, I mean, the students can get paid an actual salary with actual benefits, with actual pensions maybe set up a trust so that these kids, when 5, 10, 15 years down the road, they're able to have money for their future. Give them a base salary while they're in school, give them their benefits, their health care, but set up a long-term pension for the kids so that for years to come, they're taken care of. Also, by these two schools working together, what they're trying to address, another thing everyone wants to address is a collective bargain agreement for name and take care of name, image, and likeness. But the big one is the transfer portal. The way the transfer portal is set up, it is not fair for these schools. These coaches, the reason why so many of these coaches are thinking about leaving or have left, or like Nick Saban retired early, is the fact that the coaches cannot spend any time coaching and developing their players. They have to convince these kids to come in, make sure there's some name, image, and likeness money, and then they're spending the rest of their time trying to keep their players happy so that they don't leave in the transfer portal before the season even starts or at the very end of the year. Now, if you can go through and collectively bargain an agreement with these kids, hey, you're signing a 4-year agreement to come play at the University of Georgia, and you have to go through, if you want to transfer, you have to go through this process here. It can't be the season's over, I'm a free agent, give me, how much money can I get? There needs to be some rules and regulations. There are a whole group of kids that have committed to their schools, whether it's Ohio State, Michigan, Georgia, Alabama, Miami, USC. And once the spring game happens and they realize, hey, I'm not a starter, I'm transferring, universities are going to have to figure out, okay, I thought I had a backup and a second string and third string quarterback. Now I don't. He's transferred to West Virginia or Cincinnati. I have to go recruiting. These coaches are not developing the players to get them to the level where they can make it to the NFL or become a better athlete or a better student. They're just in survival mode. Bringing these two organizations together addresses like I said, name, image, and likeness, the transfer portal, collective bargaining, profit sharing, pensions, benefits. It's a good thing because the NCAA is absolutely powerless and they're not doing anything to benefit the kids or the universities right now. And so maybe by bringing the two biggest organizations together, maybe everyone can, these issues can be addressed for both sides, because there's two sides to this: what's
Mm-hmm.
good for the university and what's good for the kids. And the kids, in my opinion, take care of them, make sure there's some profit sharing.
Yeah, it definitely seems like the NCAA is going to have a lot of issues.
It's a madhouse, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. Because I mean, you have the stuff going on with Tennessee and West Virginia, and then all of a sudden, Big Ten and SEC are doing stuff together now. So it's
What
crazy.
about Florida State and the
Florida
ACC?
State. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What about the Pac-12, which was
Yeah.
12 schools? Now there's
That's,
only two, and they're trying to figure out what the heck they're going to
yeah.
do. If they're going to be a university, I mean, a conference, are they going to join the Mountain West? Think about it.
Mm-hmm.
There is a conference out there, which used to be known as the Conference of Champions, that only has two schools in it now
Mm-hmm.
because of all these issues. So,
I do want to address a comment that we got a little while ago.
all right.
It's from Med. They asked why every time the name of the show is Andrew Tate. I don't get it. Just wanted to let you know, Tate, who is over here.
That would be my name.
That's his name. So just wanted to address that.
Born Andrew Tate. So I've always been Andrew Tate since birth. Came out of the womb, got a birth certificate, named Andrew Tate,
Yep.
which is me.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, looks like the NCAA has its work cut out for them, honestly, and I don't know if college football is going to be with them very much longer. It doesn't sound like it.
Let me add another one to that Andrew Tate. Oh, my dad's name is Andrew Tate Sr.
Oh, that's
right. And then his uncle was also another Andrew Tate.
wow,
We're a whole family of Andrew Tates.
You got three of them in your family.
So so just explain that one.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see what's going to happen. It's a lot of complicated and complex stuff going on right now.
Yes, it is.
But we're going to take a quick break, guys. And when we come back, we're going to be talking about a woman who climbs through her window after forgetting her keys.